The Vedic age was between 1500 BC and 600 BC. This is the next major civilization that occurred in ancient India after the decline of the Indus Valley Civilization by 1400 BC.
So let us start a short discussion for the period of Vedic. Okay, so focus on the word. The word Vedic is derived from the word Veda. Is derived from the word Veda. And what does the word means? What does the word Veda means? Ved or Veda. Veda means acquiring the knowledge. Ved means acquiring the knowledge. Right. So this is our next topic after the Indus Valley civilization. Right. So just have a quick revision over the time we have discussed earlier, like from the Stone Age. Then we discussed the Chalcolithic period. Then we discussed the Indus Valley civilization. And after Indus Valley civilization, another civilization came into place, and it was known as the Vedic civilization. But the major difference between the two was the Indus Valley civilization was the urbanized civilization, and the Vedic period was mainly the rural one, not the urbanized one. Right. But the most important feature of this Vedic period is from this period or from this time onwards, we found the literary evidences or the literary text of India, or we can say the literary treasure of India we found from this time. Right. This time starts from the 1500s. That means when the later period of Harappa was going on, at that time, at the time of 1500 BC, the beginning of Vedic period was there. Right? It is the early Vedic period. We will consider it as the early Vedic period. The early Vedic period. We will divide the Vedic period into two. First one is the early Vedic period, and the second one is the later Vedic period. So the Vedic period was divided into two, the early Vedic and the later Vedic. Okay. So we are just having a short discussion over this word and over the period. Right. The Vedic word is derived from the Ved or Veda, and what the Veda means, it means acquiring the knowledge. So the word itself, the knowledge, the word itself, the Ved, it itself indicates the civilization or the people who were calling themselves as Vedic were scholars. Who were they? They were scholars. Right? So to get the study, to study the Vedic period, we have two types of sources. Right? There are two types of sources. The first one is the literary text or the literary sources. Second source is the archeological sources. But in between the two, the literary sources were the major source, and these were the supplementary sources, right? These were the supplementary sources which complement each other, which completes each other, right? That means from the period of Vedic, we are having two types of evidences, right, which are deciphered, right? Which part was missing with the IVC? But In the Vedic period, we are having two types of sources. One is archaeological sources, that means remains, and second one is literary. So one thing is clear in our mind is that this period belongs to a special community. First one is clear. The whole period belongs to a special class, which was scholar, right? And what we get to know from these scholars? What we get to know? We will get to know the knowledge they presented, they created for us. So, first of all, we will discuss about the where. The community, the social group. The social group who composed these earliest literary texts. So, these social group who composed the earliest literary text called himself as Aryans, or called themselves as Vedic people, because they created Vedas. That's why they created the knowledge. They represented the knowledge. They composed the literary text. That's why they called themselves as Vedic